This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video, another live stream. We're doing 2 Sunday live streams in a row. I know last week was on Monday, and next two are going to be on Sunday, just so I can give myself a week in between to practice up and all of that, because especially next week is going to be quite something. Just, stay tuned for that. But anyway, this is from the album Honey, We Could Be in Kansas. And I'll just say it right now. Last week when I was doing the Bob Dylan live stream, I just felt sick about leaving out something from Blood on the Tracks, even though I play songs from that record all the time. And so I was laughing as I was creating this, that the title of this particular live stream takes its name from a line in Meet Me in the Morning, which was on Blood on the Tracks. And there are actually 3 songs out of a potential 10 that were inspired by songs from Blood on the Tracks. So I'm making up for lost time. And I know that was bugging you guys too last week, but this album is a really interesting one. It's similar in tone to Any Way the Wind Blows, where there are 6 tracks, tone and structure, I should say, where there are 6 tracks that were inspired by kind of happy things that were going on within a relationship. And then the next 6 were not so happy things. Same deal, and much more on that in the coming weeks. But it's kind of interesting because this was written in pretty consecutive days. And Anyway the Wind Blows is actually written over a period of years, and so it was about different people. And this one is actually all about the same person. But this first half is a pretty positive deal, and the second 6 tracks are not so positive. Speaking of not so positive, there's that. But anyway, this first song is a song called Visions, and it was inspired by Meet Me in the Morning, which is where I got the title of this album from too. So this is Visions and Meet Me in the Morning, and I hope you enjoy both of them. We have more than visions of rolling over in the AM. And seeing each other until the day our lives finally end. There ain't nothing in this world that our love for each other cannot mend. See me in the kitchen, hugging your waist from behind. Or in the bedroom with a song that has been deep in my mind. Darling, you're the one I wanna be with until the end of time. On the green couch you see us, wasting the whole day away. We got stuff to do, but honey, you know that it can wait. Honey, I'll be your dessert when you got too much on your plate. Yeah, I know I drive you crazy, and you fall deeper each day, and I'm more. You're also a keeper, so maybe go on, lock that door. Darling, we could be so much better than you've had me for. Meet me in the morning, 56th and Wabasha. Meet me in the morning, 56th and Wabasha. Honey, we could be in Kansas by the time the snow begins to thaw. They say the youngest hour is right before the dawn. They say the youngest hour is right before the dawn. But you wouldn't know him by me. Every day's been darkness since you've been gone. Little rooster crowing, there must be something on his mind. Little rooster crowing, there must be something on his mind. You know I feel just like that rooster. Honey, you treat me so unkind. Well, I struggled through the barbed wire, felt the hair fall from above. Yes, I struggled through the barbed wire, felt the hair fall from above. Well, you know I even outran the hound dogs. Honey, you know I burned your love. Look at the sun sinking like a ship. Look at the sun sinking like a ship. Well, ain't that just like my heart, babe, when you kissed my lips? All right, and that was Visions and Meet Me in the Morning. I hope you enjoyed both of those. As you know, if you have tuned into my live streams, Meet Me in the Morning has been a tremendously influential song for me. Um, and I can't remember what the song was. I think it was called Call Letter Blues. Um, and that's what Meet Me in the Morning was based on. But I'm gonna look it up really quick, um, just because I care, but not enough to have looked it up beforehand. Um, just enough to you know keep it interesting during my show. Uh, so yeah, I was correct. Call Letter Blues. That was the one. This next one, we're doing a lot of time jumping here. We're going from 1975 to 2014. So that's 39 years for this next inspiration. And this is an Ed Sheeran song. And It's a song called Sing. And it inspired a track on this particular album called Just Us. So I hope you enjoy it. This is Sing and Just Us. And I'm going to play my song, Just Us, first. Crazy fools who don't love me say without me their life will be mess. Thought that was the end, but I didn't see the rest. I didn't know that waiting on me was somebody as wonderful as you. Now I'm meant for someone my mind never would have envisioned. You got me out of my mind, you make no rational decisions. Look at me with those eyes I adore. Tell me you love me forevermore. I never wanna have to leave your arms. I wanna wake up to all of your gorgeous charms. All things about you are so wondrous. I love picturing the things you'll do to me when it's just us. When it's just us. Yeah, I thought I loved. Yeah, I was mistaken. It wasn't meant to be in the end. But this love for each other that we have just cannot be pretend. Before I knew you, I didn't need no one in my life. Now my world just feels a little more right. Now I'm meant for someone my mind never would have envisioned. You got me out of my mind, can't make no rational decisions. Look at me with those eyes I adore. Tell me you love me forevermore. I never wanna have to leave your arms. I wanna wake up to all of your gorgeous charms. All things about you are so wondrous. I love picturing the things you'll do to me when it's just us. When it's just us. I never wanna have to leave your arms. I wanna wake up to all of your gorgeous charms. All things about you are so wondrous. I love picturing the things you'll do to me when it's just us. When it's just us. It's late in the evening, glass on the side. Yeah, I've been sad with you for most of the night. ignoring everybody. We moan, wish they would disappear. So maybe we can get now. I don't wanna know if you're getting ahead of the program. I want you to be my lady, to hold your body close. Take a step into no man's land for the longest time, lady. I need you, darling, come and set the tone. If you feel you're falling, won't you let me know? If you love me, come and get involved. Feel it rushing through you from your head to toe. Oh, sing. Oh, louder. Sing. This love is a maze. I saw him blaze from the side of the stage. In the fire brigade comes in a couple of days. Until then we got nothing to say and nothing to know, but something to drink and maybe something to smoke. Letting go until our roads are changed, singing we found love in a local rain. No, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say, but I'm just figuring out and hope and pray. I told her my name, she said it's nice to meet you. Then she handed me a bottle of water filled with tequila. I already know she's a keeper from this one small act of kindness. I'm in deep shit if anybody finds out. I meant to drive home, but I'm drunk on it now. I'm not sober enough, and we're on the couch rolling, led to another. Now she's kissing my mouth. I need you, darling, come set the tone. Feel it rushing through you, your head to toe. If you're loving, come and set the tone. And then you're falling, come and let me know. Oh, say, oh, can you feel it? All the guys in here don't even wanna dance. Can you feel it? All I can hear is music from the back. Can you feel it? Found you hiding under here, so won't you take my hand, darling? Me more than the yanks, and can you feel it? Can you feel it? Sing, oh, 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 oh. I need you, darling, coming in the tone. I feel you falling, won't you let me know? If you want me, come and get involved. Feel it rushing to you from your head to toe. All right, and that was Just Us and Sing by Ed Sheeran, and the first one, Just Us, was by Just Me, Minnesota Mike. And this is the Honey We Could Be in Kansas live stream. My friend Alexis is tuning in. I appreciate you for doing that. I know you love Ed Sheeran, and I'm glad I hope you enjoyed that cover. You at least, were very excited about the prospect of Ed Sheeran. And for what it's worth to you, he just won't return my calls. That's what it is. Otherwise, he would have been singing that. Um, but um, that's that. And I'll say this: if he, did return my calls, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. Not that anybody's touring right now because of COVID, but that would no longer be an excuse in a couple of months. So this next song is by me, but it was inspired by a song by the Dave Matthews Band called "Where Are You Going?" And I was laughing because last week I played "You Ain't Going Nowhere" by Bob Dylan, and now I'm playing "Where Are You Going?" So like Jeopardy, I guess. The question comes, or the answer comes first, and then the question comes second. But this is a song called "Come Back and Love Me," and "Where Are You Going" was on an album called Busted Stuff, which this was actually one of the originals, quote unquote, that they, one of the new ones, I should say, that they released with the album, recorded with the album, but a lot of them were abandoned recordings from the Lillywhite sessions, which were scrapped in favor, of Every Day. But anyway, so there are a couple of references to Steve Lillywhite and Busted Stuff in my song, just to have a little fun with it. And this is a song called "Come Back and Love Me," and I hope you enjoy it. Come back and love me. You tell me you have places to go, but last night was magic. Tell your bosses that in the morning you are gonna show. Come back and love me until the moment all the love runs out. You never leave my mind. You ain't going nowhere right now. Got the eighth wonder of the world right here in our bed sheets. Come back and love me and never go away. Come back and love me, even when the wild lilies refuse to bloom. Come back and love me every day, and promise you will never leave this room. The busted stuff might show just a few scattered remains, but come back and love me, and I know I can somehow make that change. You never leave my mind. You ain't going nowhere right now. Got the eighth wonder of the world right here in my bed sheets. Come back and love me and never go away. You never leave my mind. You ain't going nowhere right now. Got the eighth wonder of the world right here in our bed sheets. Come back and love me and never go away. Where are you going with your long ways pulling down? don't hide away like an ocean, but you can't see, but you can smell. And the sound of the waves crashing down. I am no Superman. I am no reasons for you. I am no hero, oh, that's for sure. But I do know one thing, is where you are, is where I belong. I do know where you go, is where I want to be. Where are you going? Where do you go? Are you looking for answers to the questions under the stars? Well, along the way you're growing weary, you can rest with me until a brighter day. And you're okay. I am no Superman. I am no answers for you. I am no hero, oh, that's for sure. But I do know one thing, is where you are, is where I belong. I do know where you go, is where I want to be. Where are you going? Where do you know? Where are you going? Where do you go? I am no Superman. I am no answers for you. I am no hero, oh, that's for sure. But I do know one thing, is where you are, is where I belong. I do know where you go, is where I want to be. Where are you going? Where do you go? All right, and that was Come Back and Love Me and Where Are You Going? The second one by Dave Matthews Band. Thank you, Alexis. I appreciate that. I enjoy that one too, and I'm glad you did as well. Yeah, that's a good song. It's funny, I was wondering, like, when I was trying to figure out if this was on every day, or what album, because I knew it was either Everyday or Busted Stuff, and then I remembered that it was in the trailer for some Adam Sandler movie. I can't remember what it was, but it was one of those things that I like remembered seeing that trailer, and I was trying to think and realized, okay, 2002, so that would have been Busted Stuff. I There's a reason why I identify so well with the Cash Cab episode of 30 Rock, where Tracy Morgan is like in there, and there are like all these really obscure reasons why he knows, like one of the questions was like, what's the capital of Dubai? And he was, said whatever it was. And he just goes, I know that because they told me that I'll be arrested if I ever go back there. And so, like, I feel like that's my trivia knowledge sometimes, that, the way that I remember things raises more questions than answers. But that's just one of those things. So this next song is a song inspired by two very random and not related things. But this is a song that was inspired by Drive by Train. But the title of it came from an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Because there was an episode where Leonard was like referred to himself as a romance ninja, and so I thought that was a really cool visual. And so, anyway, this is Romance Ninja and Drive By. The second one by train as opposed to a drive by trucker, which is something completely different. We found a love that's strange but true. Gonna romance the hell out of you. It's raining outside, where you gonna go? I'm a romance ninja, get your mind. Sneak up on you from behind, and you'll feel a love you never know. I've got a hold of you and don't wanna let go. You didn't mean to ball, but didn't mind at all. That's what being with a romance ninja does. Give you affection, I come from all directions. That's what it's like to be the romance ninja's love. Felt like you couldn't open heaven's gate. Don't look now, someone worth the wait is right around the corner from your despair. He looks good in anything, and you look good in his ring. You feeling this kind of love is only fair. You didn't mean to fall, but didn't mind at all. That's what being with a romance ninja does. You give affection, I come from all directions. That's what it's like to be the romance ninja's love. Tell him what and exactly how you feel. And even though no one else can see it, you know that it's real. You didn't mean to fall, but didn't mind at all. That's what being with a romance ninja does. You give affection, I come from all directions. That's what it's like to be a romance ninja's love. You didn't mean to fall, but didn't mind at all. That's what being with a romance ninja does. You give affection, I come from all directions. That's what it's like to be the romance ninja's love. On the other side of the street I knew stood a girl that looked like you. I guess that's deja vu, but I thought it can't be true. Cause you moved to West LA or New York or Santa Fe or whatever to get away from me. Oh, but that one night was more than just right. I didn't leave you cause I thought it was all through. Oh, but I was overwhelmed and frankly scared to tell me cause I remember you. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by, just a shy guy looking for a two-ply, hefty banger. Oh, my love, when you move me, everything is groovy. They don't like it to me, oh, the way you do me. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. On the other side of a downward spiral, my love for you went viral, and I loved it while you drove away. But now here you are again, so let's get the how you meant and get down to more than friends at last. Oh, but that one night is still the highlight. I don't need you until you came to, and I was overwhelmed and frankly scared to say, because I really remember you. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by, just a shy guy looking for a two-ply, hefty banger. Oh, my love, when you move me, everything is groovy. They don't like it to me, oh, the way you do me. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. Please believe that when I leave, there's nothing up my sleeve but love for you and a little more to give my time together too. On the other side of the street I knew, girl looking looked like you. Guess this is deja vu, but I guess it can be true. Cause oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by, When you move me, everything is groovy the way you do me. Oh, I swear to you, I'll be there for you. This is not a drive-by. All right, and that was Drive by Train as well as Romance Ninja. Alexis says that's her favorite Train song. I am happy to ruin that for you. But I hope you liked it. And Richard Wilson is in the house. I appreciate you for tuning in. Richard had a gig today at Crosstown Concourse from 1 to 4. And I know he does those live streams, and I know he's got a couple more gigs coming up. I think one of them's on June 11th, maybe. And he's been getting some. So Richard, if you want to post your gigs in the comments, you are more than welcome to do that. And that'll help me promote you a little bit better, because Richard's just an awesome dude. And great musician as well, obviously, too. But that is that. All right, so this next song is one called Can't Stay Away. And it was inspired by Unchained Melody by, well, take your pick. A lot of people have covered it. Todd Duncan was the original guy who sang it back in 1955. And it says that on my lyrics, I know the lyrics, but it's good to have those fun facts around. And I saw that and I was like, Todd Duncan. It was one of those weird things where, like, when you hear Righteous Brothers, you think of like crooners. When you hear a guy named Todd, you don't necessarily think that. I love you, Todd Nations, but but just want to throw that out there. But anyway, so this is Can't Stay Away, an Unchained Melody, and this is a really good segue into the second half of this particular album, because the next two medleys that I'm doing are going to be the second part kind of contradicts the first, but it leads itself well into the second half of that particular part of the album, where it's a little bit more negative and kind of questioning, are we really okay? But that was that. So that was the gig on the 11th. It was Memphis Chess Club on the 11th for Richard, and South Main Sounds on Friday. That's this Friday, actually, which is very exciting. We're starting this week, and tomorrow, or I should say Tuesday, is the 1st of June already. And then Friday will be Richard playing there. And then, like I said, the Chess Club on the 11th. But anywho, this is this is going to be Can't Stay Away and Unchained Melody. And like I was saying with Unchained Melody, this is one of those beautiful songs where it's a love song, but it's also like a breakup song. And so the person in question, it's weird having some confidence when it comes to relationships and kind of figuring out like what's right for me and what's not. Sometimes, I don't always get it right, but this particular one, there was some stuff going on. This person and I were conversing back and forth, and then something happened to interrupt our conversation. And I was like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And it was. But then she kept on asking, like, are we okay? Are we okay? Are we okay? And I kept on thinking about it. And I'm like, well, maybe we're not if you have to keep asking. And so the most of the medleys for the remainder of the album, the second half is like basically this person's response to me. and it really starting with the next one, because this one is a little bit of a love song, but that's kind of the mindset, that like this is kind of a firing back and forth. But this is Can't Stay Away, and I hope you enjoy it. Can't stay away. I love you and want you for my own, until the very end, 'cause no one on this earth can love me, and I'm broken heart to man. Can't see a world without you. Can't see a world without you. Don't wanna love no one new ever again. The future's so unsure, but we wanna make it right. You give my heart so much delight. A future's so unsure, but we love, yes we love, and I don't wanna see an end inside. Can't stay away. I love you and want you for my own, until the very end. 'Cause no one on this earth can love me and help my broken heart to mend. Can't see a world without you. Can't see a world without you. Don't wanna love no one new ever again. Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Yeah, yeah. Lonely rivers cry, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. And oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. No long time, and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. All right, and that was Can't Stay Away and Unchained Melody. That's kind of a strange title, but it's from a movie from 1955 called Unchained, and so that is where that gets its title from. I am Minnesota Mike, and this is the Honey We Could Be in Kansas live stream. And you already know where the title comes from Bob Dylan. Shocker, and a line from Meet Me in the Morning, but the basic gist of this particular album was taken from the idea that, like, we could be in Kansas, and then as the album kind of got fleshed out, it was like, well, wait a minute, we're not right for each other, and so we could be. But it's just not going to work. And so this next song of mine is actually, it's a song called Deeper Than the Ocean, and it's a love song. And the last one on this particular album, because it was the last one I wrote before things kind of went bad. But like I said, think of these as a conversation between myself and the other person. And so the second part is that conversation, and this is like I said, inspired by Long Gone and Moved On by The Script, and that's obviously a breakup song. So this is Deeper Than the Ocean and Long Gone and Moved On. I hope you enjoy both of them. I filled in your late night car, told me that you just simply couldn't handle more, and that you would not wait to give me your all. You're far too in love to lose that buzz, and you're climbing up the walls. You just cannot see someone else loving me as much as you do. So don't set me ring, 'cause you love all the much of me. I can't love myself, and told me I should put my love on a shelf. This is real, but way you feel and deeper than the ocean. I love this little mess we made. You are my sunshine when I've been living in the shade. You build me up when the world just wants to degrade. I've been your heart rate. Was this always fate, or have we both somehow been saved? You just cannot see someone else loving me as much as you do. So don't set me free, 'cause you love all the much of me. I can't love myself and told me I should put my love on a shelf. This is real, the way you feel, and deeper than the ocean. Oh, I wonder where you are outside my dreams. And I wonder just exactly what that means. If you were with me tonight, I'd hold you close to me. If you were with me tonight, I couldn't get me leave, 'cause you love all the parts of me. I can't love myself and told me I shouldn't put my love on a shelf. This is real, the way you feel, and deeper than the ocean. 'Cause you love all the parts of me. I can't love myself and told me I should put my love on a shelf. This is real, the way you feel, and deeper than the ocean. When's the day you start again? Yeah. And when the hell does you get over it begin? I'm looking into the mirror, but I don't fit my skin. It's too much to take, it's too hard to break me from this cell I'm in. From this moment on, I'm changing the way I'm in love. From this moment on, it's time to get real, 'cause I still don't know how to act, don't know what to say. Still wear the scars like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone. 'Cause I still don't know how to start, still finding my way. Still not gonna match you like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone and moved on. So how'd you pick the pieces up? Yeah. It's barely used to saying me instead of us. The elephant in the room keeps scaring off the guests. It gets under my skin to see you with him, and it's not me that you're with. From this moment on, I'm changing the way I'm in love. From this moment on, it's time to get real, 'cause I still don't know where to start. Still finding my way, still wear the scars like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone. 'Cause I still don't know where to act, don't know what to say. Still not gonna match you like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone and moved on. And I can't keep thinking that you're coming back, yeah. 'Cause I got no business knowing where you're at. And it's gonna be hard, yeah. 'Cause I'm gonna have to heal, and it's gonna be hard, yeah. The way I feel, 'cause I'm gonna get real. 'Cause I still don't know how to act, don't know what to say. Still wear the scars like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone. 'Cause I still don't know how to act, don't know what to say. Still wear the scars like it was yesterday, but you're long gone. You moved on, but you're long gone. You moved on, no, ah, all right, and that was Deeper Than the Ocean and Long Gone Moved On by The Script. Shout out to my buddy Zach. He is not tuning in, but his birthday was a couple of days ago, and we always go back and forth on Script references. Great band, especially their first couple albums, but still a real good band nonetheless. So this next song is a song that was inspired by Don't Look Back in Anger, and kind of staying on the conversation, I guess, that it's a little bit of me talking, it's a little bit of this person talking, and I would have liked for it to have ended here, with just saying "Don't look back in anger" and leave it at that. But it was one of those things where this person and I just were not compatible. And we both tried, but my trying was her seeing a full commitment, and it just wasn't working. And so I the first song that I wrote when I knew that was the case was this one, and it was a song called "In Another Lifetime." And just looking at these certain circumstances, which I won't dive into, but certain circumstances that were holding us back, and just saying, like, yeah, it's nothing personal, it's just kind of what it needs to be. And the songs got progressively angrier when she didn't really respect that answer. But this is "In Another Lifetime" and "Don't Look Back in Anger," and I hope you enjoy it. Come into the valley of death with anything you got left. We'll try to make it, yeah. I love you more than words can describe. The logistics can drive exactly what comes next. I'm the man of your dreams, you said you might not be there for my wedding day. So what about the future? What about the future for us? Got things weighing you now, and I got my own things keeping me around. We must let each other go, but in another lifetime we'd start the show. I earned the right to be free and to think about me, and you've done the same. If we end up as two, if I'm separate from you, neither will be to blame. I'm the man of your dreams, you said you might not be there for my wedding day. So what about the future? What about the future for us? Got things weighing you now, and I got my own things keeping me around. We must let each other go, but in another lifetime we'd start the show. Tell me I'm landing outside our fantasizing, 'cause right now I feel as though it's merely surmising. I don't like not knowing, and leading with my heart is how we got here from the very start. Got things weighing you down, and I got my own thing keeping me me around. We must let each other know, but in another lifetime we'd start the show. Got things weighing you now, and I got my own things keeping me around. We must let each other know, but in another lifetime we'd start the show. Just thought you should know. Slim inside the eye of your mind, don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you never meant, but all the things that you sing will slowly fade away. So I start a revolution from my bed. You said the brains I had went to my head. Stem outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace, take that look from off your face. You ain't never gonna burn my heart out. And so Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say, take me to the place where you know, where nobody knows if it's night or day. Please don't put the life in the hands of a rock and roll band who will throw it all away. I'm gonna start a revolution from my bed, 'cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside 'cause summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace, take that look from off your face, 'cause you ain't never gonna burn my heart out. And so Sally can wait. She knows it's too late as we're walking on by. Her soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say, at least not today. All right, and that was Don't Look Back in Anger and In Another Lifetime. Those two songs. So this next one, I might actually be getting on vinyl soon because they just released a special edition, and there's one on like Amazon, or there's one off Amazon, which I'm very happy about because I hate Jeff Bezos, even though he's stepping down as CEO. Just Amazon in general rubs me the wrong way. But anyway, so this is a song by Karis Flowers called Feel the Same. And this song kind of went into the next album that I wrote called I Still Shed My Skin Upon Request. And it's basically about when you have somebody who like is really all about you, but there's something that you're just not feeling. And in this particular case, this person being all about me turned out to be a little bit creepy, honestly. Like, saying things like, oh, I can't guarantee that, I'd be at your wedding because I'm in love with you, and things like that. So it just got to be a little bit much. But generally speaking, it's kind of a weird thing for me to be like, why don't I feel this too? and because the list is small of people who are have been that all about me, but I'm not that desperate. So that is so. Anyway, this is a song called "Feel the Same" and Angel in Blue Jeans, and I hope you enjoy it. I met someone who loves me more than life. She wants to love me through the good times and strife. She's willing to risk it all for me, and she is sure. But that's something I am not quite ready to endure, even for her. You'd think I'd be happier than I ever been, finding someone who I can make melt. But there's just one problem about getting her one with those second miles. Everything looks rosy until you remove the gloss. I turn and toss. Someone who loves me this much don't arrive every day of the same manner. She loves me more than anything on this earth, so why can't I bring myself to feel the same? She would have put her life to me in my embrace. She's willing to do whatever it takes. Riding on a future is the best part of a mask. She tries to ignore it, but it will come up so fast, and that can't last. Someone who loves me this much don't arrive every day of the same manner. She loves me more than anything on this earth, so why can't I bring myself to feel the same? Someone who loves me this much don't arrive every day of the same manner. She loves me more than anything on this earth, so why can't I bring myself to feel the same? I saw an angel in blue jeans today. I meant that she melted all my bitterness away. You always tried so hard to hide your wings beneath your coat, so let it be and let them breathe. You can never low above the ground. You look so tired, you got moonbeams in your eyes. And if I believe, I know you made the first to fly. You always tried so hard to hide your wings beneath your coat, so let it be and let them breathe, so you can hover low above the ground. How can I miss anything about you when I don't even know what your name is? It feels like I know you better than I know the sun, so please tell me, where is my sunshine now? How can I miss anything about you when I don't even know what your name is? It feels like I know you as well as I know the sun, so please tell me, where is my sunshine now? All right, and that was Feel the Same and Angel and Blue Jeans. That second one was by Cara's Flowers, which I've pointed out multiple times is the precursor to Maroon 5, minus James Valentine. And The Fourth World was kind of their debut album. They had an album before that called We Like Digging, but it was their major label debut was The Fourth World, and they just re-released it, I should say, on vinyl. It was previously out of print. So I got to get my hands on one of those. I've just been a little bit busy. But anyway, really good song. Now, I told you there were 3 songs on this particular record that were inspired by Bob Dylan songs off of Blood on the Tracks. And this next one is one that was inspired, by the second track on the album. And this is a song called Say, and it was inspired by Simple Twist of Fate. And Simple Twist of Fate, there's never going to, in my mind, be a better Bob Dylan song than Tangled Up in Blue, just because it's the story, the instrumentals, just all of that comes together. But anyway, a close second on that particular album is the second track, which is Simple Twist of Fate. And it's funny because with COVID and all of that, getting out there and meeting people on Tinder, a lot of it involves like outdoor dates. And I've become a big fan of Overton Park for such things. And this is probably not the best attitude to have, but I keep on thinking of the opening line. They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. And because it doesn't end well, but it's just like a really nice moment to think about. And so this song has been on my mind a lot, hence probably why a lot of songs have been inspired by this one. But this is a song called Say, and this kind of gets at a lot of this relationship in question seemed to, come out of nowhere for this particular person. And they're like, wait, what do you mean you're not feeling it? And I had tried to tell her multiple times, and she was just kind of living in her own reality, where that, never could be the case. And so then when I was finally like, no, I mean it, I'm not, bouncing back this time. Then it was like, okay, you asked me some questions, you wanted to know the truth, and here's the truth, but like, what do you want me to say? And so that was kind of that. Not fun, but immortalized in song. So this is Say and Simple Twist of Fate. They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. 'Twas then he felt alone in a wish that... Hang on one second. I meant to start with Say. That's my fault, so let me do that. They had a romance they thought was real. She didn't think there was a way she could feel. One day out of nowhere he revealed he didn't feel the fire. It was down to the wire. Then she asked, are we okay? And he didn't know what she wanted him to say. He tried to tell her many times that love would not leave them blind. There were some things still on his mind. They refused to settle down. The queen had lost her crown when the king had gone away, and he didn't know what she wanted him to say. Someone once told him love is a choice. For years and years he lost his voice. So when he finally got the Rolls Royce, you would think he would just drive. But he failed to feel alive. Exactly, in a way. Didn't know what she wanted him to say. She sent a letter with how she felt, asked him to think for herself. Was the fire enough to melt his heart made out of glass? He said no when he passed. She told him he led her astray, but he didn't know what she wanted him to say. She asked him if not, who's next? Someone on Tinder, some broken prospects. He didn't know it was more complex, and he just needed space. That was hard for her to take, and she wouldn't go away. Now nothing is what he wanted her to say. They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and she felt a spark tingle new more. It was then he felt alone, and wished that he'd gone straight and watched out for a simple twist of fate. They walked along by the old canal, a little confused, I remember well, and stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. A saxophone somewhere far off played as she was walking down by the arcade, as the line threw a beat up shade. Hang on, let's start that over. A saxophone someplace far off played as she was walking down by the arcade, as the line bust through a beat up shade where he was waking up. She dropped a coin in the cup of a blind man at the gate and forgot about a simple twist of fate. He woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care, pushed the window open wide, felt an emptiness inside to which he could not relate, brought on by a simple twist of fate. He hears the ticking of the clocks and walks along with a parrot that talks, hunts her down by the waterfront docks where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. How long must he wait once more for a simple twist of fate? People tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much within. I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in the spring, but I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. All right, and that was Say, along with Simple Twist of Fate, the Bob Dylan song, one of my favorites by him. Just a really, really good song. Sad, but a good one. Excuse me. So now for something completely different. This next song was inspired by Stone Cold by Demi Lovato. And this is actually my second inspiration with this particular song. But this is Happy. And once again, think of this as a conversation just like the last one. And this time the gender will be correct for that her end of the conversation with Stone Cold. But this is Happy, and I hope you enjoy it. You wanted to give me all of you, that made me scared and a little confused. You sometimes texted me in the middle of the night, wondering if you and I were alright. The strange part is everything did seem just fine. You loved me in a way that was nothing but blind. You're all I wanted from a love when it's good. So why don't I feel as happy as I should? You told me to think about how I was my fire, and if my body wanted you with your same desire. Told me if not, then I could break away, but weren't prepared for what I had to say. The strange part is everything did seem just fine. You loved me in a way that was nothing but blind. You're all I wanted from a love when it's good. So why don't I feel as happy as I should? Now I don't love you as much as you love me. That's something I don't think either of us could have seen. Now there's no returning, 'cause I know what you wanted. I guess we'll just have to remain haunted. The strange part is everything did seem just fine. You loved me in a way that was nothing but blind. You're all I wanted from a love when it's good. So why don't I feel as happy as I should? The strange part is everything did seem just fine. You loved me in a way that was nothing but blind. You're all I wanted from a love when it's good. So why don't I feel as happy as I should? Stone cold, you see me standing, but I'm dying on the floor. Stone cold, maybe if I don't cry, I won't feel anymore. Stone cold, baby, God knows I'm trying to feel happy for you. Know that I am, even if I can't understand. I'll take the main, give me the truth. Me and my heart will make it through. If happy is her, I am happy for you. Stone cold, you're dancing with her while I'm staring at my phone. Stone cold, I was your amber, now she's your shade of gold. Stone cold, baby, God knows I tried to feel happy for you. Know that I am, even if I can't understand. I'll take the main, give me the truth. Me and my heart will make it through. If happy is her, I am happy for you. Don't wanna be stone cold. Wish I could mean this, but here's my goodbye. Oh, I'm happy for you. Know that I am, even if I can't understand. If happy is her, I am happy for you. All right. And that was Stone Cold by Demi Lovato. That entire album reminds me of my first year teaching, and not in a good way. There are some songs that I, even though first year of teaching didn't wind up as I would have liked, there are some some songs where I hear them and I'm like, oh, those make me happy because they remind me of more carefree times. But anyway, that was not one of them because the first time I heard that song, I had just come back from Georgia visiting my ex, and um, there's a long story with that, but anyway, I watched SNL with Tracy Morgan, and Demi Lovato was the musical guest, and Demi played that song, and I was like, ooh, wow, like I just needed to hear that. And so obviously it influenced my writing, and I think it was a song called Happy for You. And a little bit of a different tone, but I still do it as a medley so I can tell that story. But this next song is no less chipper, but it is in a major key. So there's that. But this is a song called "I Held On," and this is kind of the idea of like holding on to make somebody else happy when really you're not, and that only makes things worse because then when you do have to break it off, then they're like, oh, I thought you felt it. And I refer you to my song from a couple of weeks ago called I Was Acting. But anyway, this is I Held On, and it was inspired by Learning to Cry by Justin Townes Earl. And I'll switch some of the pronouns up, but again, think of this as that conversation, her end on the second half. Yeah, I held on because no one had loved me that way. Yeah, I thought I'd wasted an opportunity. I did not stay. Yeah, I got the letter you wrote, and I just could not match your flame. Tell me I led you on, but I'm not the only one to blame. I held on because you wanted to see this play out, and I lived your life knowing you didn't have to live with doubts. But I can't keep living a lie. Don't love the way you love me. Say you can picture our lives separate, but soon you're gonna see I'm not the one for life. I'm not what could have been. I'm not your past self who became an out-of-tune mandolin. I held on because I cared, but not all that very much. I think we'll both be fine now without each other's touch. I'm learning to cry since I'm learning to cry since you walked out on me. I'm learning to cry now that there's nobody to see. For years I've been my tongue while she run wild about town. Though now I'm gone and I miss my little run around. I'm learning to cry since you walked out on me. I'm learning to cry now that there's nobody to see. So I'll get up every day, I'll dress and I'll go to work, I'll smile and cover the pain, and I'll talk my way through the hurt. But at night when I'm alone, I'll come to face my fear. I'll be lying in my bed and I'll hope that nobody is. I'm learning to cry since you walked out on me. I'm learning to cry now that there's nobody here to see. Then there's nobody here to see. All right, and that was I Held On and Learning to Cry. Yeah. So I had mentioned this whenever I showcased Blood on the Tracks in its entirety, that he wrote this song called Shelter from the Storm. And if you look at the lyrics, it feels like it should bring the album to some sort of closure, so that should be track 10 and Buckets of Rain should be track 9. But Buckets of Rain is actually the last track, and so it just leaves you with this like empty feeling. And this one kind of doubles in the sense that it was really strange, because this particular person was like, I mean, she like wouldn't, like I said, leave me alone. And, you know, even after I said, like, we're not compatible and it's also not healthy to like hold on even as friends. I just know that from experience. But she, you know, finally, when, you know, one of the last things that she said was like, you know, something to the effect of like, you know, I'll still be here if you need me, or something like that, which, you know, again, on paper looks really nice, but then it's also like, yeah, you're still holding out for something. And I'm just not ready for that. But that's the kind of the idea behind this song, the If You Run With Me. And I'm going to also play Shelter from the Storm after that, because it's a nice way to close out this record and bring closure to this. But the real closure will come in the next couple of weeks, and I'll explain that in a second. There's a line in this song that you'll hear that actually references something from Meet Me in the Morning, which is appropriate since it's kind of a mirror. But anyway, this is If You Run With Me and Shelter from the Storm, and I hope you enjoy it. I was starting to get over the patterns of the past, of trying not to try too hard so I wouldn't fall so fast. After one in our heartache too many, she finally made her feelings known. She said, if you run with me, you will never be alone. I was starting to get over the pattern. She offered to give up everything, and why it isn't clear, but she told me that she hated to see me crying constant tears. Hopefully I can forget that made the more love was shown. She said, if you run with me, you'll never be alone. In a hotel by the train tracks close to where I reside, there was music from the sages and bachelors untied. She imagined me holding her by the temporary home. She said, if you run with me, you will never be alone. I made her feel electric, or so a letter said. I couldn't reciprocate that, and it passed with my head. Waffle shot in 56th Street, where our love could have grown. She said, if you run with me, you will never be alone. 'Twas in another lifetime, one of toil and blood, when blackness was a virtue and guilt was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness and reach a waterfall. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And if I'm asked this way again, you can rest assured I'll always do my best for her, and then I give my word. In a world of steel and death and men who are fighting to keep warm, come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Not a word was spoke between us, there was little risk involved. Everything up to that morning been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it's always safe and warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I was burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hail, poisoned in the bushes and blown out on the trail. Hunted like a crocodile, ravaged in the corn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there with silver bracelets on her wrist and flowers in her hair. She walked up to me so gracefully and took my crown of thorns. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Now there's a wall between us, something that's been lost. I took too much for granted, I got my signals crossed. Just to think that it all began on a long forgotten morn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, the deputy walks on our nails and the preacher rides them bound, but nothing really matters much, it's doom and gloom that counts. And the one-eyed undertaker, he blows his futile horn. Come in, he said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I've heard newborn babies wailing like a mourning dove, and old men with broken knees stranded without love. Do I understand your question, man? Is it hopeless and forlorn? Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. In a little hilltop village, they gambled for my clothes, and I bargained for salvation, they gave me a lethal dose. I offered up my innocence and got repaid with scorn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. He walks on Rachel's edge, someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the clock to when God and her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. All right, and that was Shelter from the Storm, paired with If You Run With Me, my original song, which was inspired by Shelter from the Storm. I appreciate you guys for coming on this journey with me. If you tuned in for a little bit, if you tuned in for the whole thing, either way, I appreciate it. And that, like I said, was my album Honey We Could Be in Kansas. So the next 2 weeks, first of all, I'm doing another Sunday live stream next week. If you are in the Memphis area, on Saturday, Marcella Simeon and PJ Morton are playing a show in Handy Park. It's a free show, and both of them are incredible live. And so you should definitely check that out. On Sunday, though, we are starting to showcase a brand new double album that I just finished writing today. And we're going to, it's a double album, 15 tracks each. And it's an album called Iowapolis. And I'll explain a little bit more about where that title comes from and all of that good stuff. But that's going to happen next week. That's going to be part 1, which is the Broken Rendezvous portion, and then the second portion of that is going to be the codependency portion. And I am so excited for both of them. It just turned out incredibly well. And it was funny because when I was writing it, I kind of said, like, okay, maybe this will be a 12-track thing, but I might only need 10. And then I just kept on writing and writing and writing, and then it got to 12 each. And then today it got to 15 each. It was just one of those things. So I'm so excited to bring that to you next week, and the week after for that matter. That'll be part two. But in the meantime, you can check me out on Instagram and Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, all your favorite streaming platforms, YouTube as well, and Venmo and PayPal and Cash App if you would care to donate some money to the cause. But anyway, I appreciate you guys a ton. I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much for putting up with my shenanigans and the strange time slots over the past couple of weeks. I appreciate you guys.